Welcome to a Christmas Lift to Work with Tina.
And I'm Kate. Welcome. So, what can we expect, Tina?
In the weeks ahead, Lift to Work is going to have a Christmas flavour. So we're going to have episodes on expectations and managing them at Christmas, how to deal with Christmas overwhelm, missing people at Christmas and how to deal with that, and creating your own traditions.
All of those things that sometimes can be a little bit stressful. So, we're here to take the stress out of it and give you a nice, relaxing Christmas vibe. So, what have we got to grab, Tina?
Grab your tissues, your turkey, your tinsel, and
Oh, and your glass of mulled wine, everyone. Alcoholic or non-alcoholic, it's up to you.
yeah, and welcome to a Christmas.
Lift to work.
Hello, welcome to a Lift to Work with me, Tina.
And I'm Kate. Hello, everybody. So
Hello.
today, today, what are we travelling in?
Well, it's that season of coldness, isn't it? So we're going to have a nice horse and carriage. Think Downton Abbey and New York Park. So we're going to be in a nice, warm, cozy horse and carriage where we can all wrap up. But there's room for everybody. So jump on in.
Sounds proper posh.
Very nice.
I
Yes.
think I'll be at the back pooping the scoop, scooping the poop. What's a dinner bucket?
Ah, bless
Uh,
you.
so that was quite a light note, really. Today, Tina, what are we talking about?
Well, today we're talking about missing people at Christmas and in this festive season. So it's a season of more gathering than normal. There aren't many times a year that whole families attempt to gather, but this is definitely one of them for a lot of people, but not necessarily everybody. Some people do spend Christmas on their own out of choice or necessity, or it just happens. But it is a time when missing someone can come into sort of sharp relief, and it's just to give you um some information about that, really. What might help if that's where you're at. What strategies could you employ if you feel that coming and it's something you're not comfortable with or you're dreading a little bit?
Yeah, and there are a lot of different reasons why we might miss people, pets
Mm,
around this time. So loads of different reasons. I think the prominent one is grief.
yeah, we will be doing a fuller bonus episode in the new year around grief for everybody, but because it's such a topic that everybody feels is relevant for them, actually, because most people have experienced some loss in their life. But for the purposes of this, it's just a quick option to think about. What can you do if you've lost somebody since last Christmas or last festive time, really, or not necessarily in that year, but just
Yeah.
every time of this year,
Mm.
it feels relevant. And some of you may know that I'm also a celebrant as well as a coach, and in that world where I talk to people about death and loss, we certainly do have these kind of conversations about how you, and I call it, hold a space for that person. How do you hold a space and not end up pretending that everything's okay and they're not there, but let's not mention Uncle Fred. So
Mm.
people do then start sharing with you what they do for remembering somebody, and it can be taking flowers somewhere if that's where the person's resting place is. It can be, and I love this story, it can be something fun. So this was told to me by someone I used to work with. So her granddad never liked sprouts, and in the Christmas dinner he would be made to have one on his plate, and he would cut it into four and make a right song and dance about eating each quarter and pull faces and make a right thing about it. And now what they do, instead of serving out sprouts, is they put a whole big bowl of sprouts in the middle. Everyone has one, which is uncle's or granddad's sprout, and they all eat it in the way he used to. And they do a cheers to him, and then they get on with it. But they hold this kind of little moment
Yeah.
to remember him. And I
Yeah.
think those kind of things are really nice.
Yeah. And whilst grief is a massive part of missing people at Christmas, there are other elements as well. Perhaps you have got a loved one who can't come home for whatever reason, or is with you in body but no longer in mind.
Yes, yeah.
So they may not understand what's happening,
Yeah,
or who the people are around them, which it can be quite distressing for
yeah.
families. I know that, going back a while, my granny was in it was in a nursing home. She had got dementia, and we would, every year we would spring Christmas. Every year they'd come, except the last Christmas, when she was okay for a couple of hours, and then she was like, she got really distressed. She's like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Bearing in mind, we'd lived in that house for
Yeah,
X amount of time. So that was quite a moment, actually, when you're like, it's that realization
yeah, yeah.
that
And
Christmas aren't the same.
exactly. And sometimes when that happens around us, we kind of go into a bit of an overdrive about, I have to make this okay. And it's quite difficult just sometimes to go with it. The things that Kate and I would tell you as nurses is, if you play music, that's a real powerful way to reach somebody whose memory is declining. So sometimes just having music on and just dancing or being silly, things particularly from their era, can really help. And if it only is a fleeting moment of recognition, that's still lovely. Yeah, so yeah, that can be tough, but it's
Yeah.
how you kind of find a way to make a connection with that person, how you manage your own feelings, which is okay to feel like, oh, this has changed and not like it used to be.
And missing people at Christmas it's an emotive time. Christmas is an emotive time, and you may experience things like anger, or sadness, guilt, because you're there and somebody else isn't, hurt that they're selfish and can't be with you when you want them with you, and all of that kind of stuff. And this in turn, and you know as well as I do, that emotions can have such a physical response, can't they?
Yeah, and I think sometimes you've just got to get that expressed in some way out of yourself. Saying it out loud can even sometimes help you. If you go for a walk with the dog and you talk to the person who's no longer there, saying, well, this is annoying, I normally would be walking the dog with you, and you've only upped and blooming left us, and you've left me with all your in-laws who were coming round, and ha ha ha, and just expressing it and talking it out loud can help. Some people say that if you write it down, so you write it down and then you can burn it or destroy it, never send it, whatever, but just saying how you feel, it is important. And I guess what we say, don't we, all the time in coaching, Kate, is feelings come and go. That you will feel this and it's fine and it's real and it's okay to feel it, whatever it is, but it will come and it will go. So you're not going to be stuck in that difficult feeling. It will pass.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
allow yourself to feel those feelings.
Yeah, totally. Because the more you push it down, it becomes like a pressure cooker and it's only going to pop at some point, either in your health or in your mental well-being. So that's never a good plan, really.
Yeah. And if you are spending time with somebody who is experiencing those things, so you aren't the person who's directly missing somebody, but you're with somebody that is, don't be afraid to speak to them about it. Don't be afraid to engage in conversation. No, you will never understand what they are thinking, because their thoughts are theirs. However, sometimes just a reassuring, look or touch on the shoulder, or I've got you.
Yeah. And a lot of people who've actually lost somebody in relation to, grieving for them in whatever way, will often say that everyone else goes into kind of like backpedaling mode or kind of frozen mode, and they never mention the person's name. It's like, or don't mention mum and let's not talk about it. We have sayings in our house, because my mum died coming up for 5 years ago now, and one of her Christmas habits was to always leave the price on at least something. So you'd open something and there it would be, the label of the price. And
that's just like our house.
It was a bargain, so it'd be like a label on top of a label on top of a label, because it had been reduced 3 times, because she loved a bargain. Good on her. And nowadays, if anyone ever does this, which occasionally it happens, we go, oh, you're doing a mum, you've done a mum. and everyone knows what that means, what that code means, actually. And we did talk the first time she wasn't around about how we missed her, because she was a great gift buyer. She was she had lots of things that she loved about that time of year. And some of us have got some of her ornaments now, which is quite nice. So I feel a presence when I open, the ornament box, and there's one of her decorations, and we put it on the tree, and we know it's like it was mum's. That kind of thing is quite nice. Holding a space in whatever way works for you, is good. But I think, like you say, just being there for the other person, that's a really good thing to mention, isn't it?
Yeah. And from an NLP point of view, from a mindset point of view, there are a couple of strategies that we can use to help during that situation, or during that period of time. One of them is anchoring. So you're holding on to, or you're remembering it, feeling positive, positive emotions, positive memories. This is a technique that we use a lot for various different topics. And once you've learned it, you can use it for all sorts of stuff. For that, you've got the skills to do that. So that's a great one. And another one that we use, which is far more in depth, amazing, it's an incredible thing, it's called timeline therapy, which is where we kind of go back to events and take a lot of the emotion away from it, helping you to get out of a stuck place.
I always think of it like Doctor Who. If you ever, it's hard to avoid Doctor Who, isn't it, if you're kind of our age and you've grown up with it.
Well, or in my house, because my eldest, who is 12, will not shut up about David Tennant.
Well, I can see her point of view, to be perfectly honest. He is rather lovely. David, if you're out there and you want to come on the podcast, I'm very happy to have you. But the idea that you get in a time machine like the TARDIS, and you go back and you open the doors of it and you observe it differently with a bit of help from a coach, and then you kind of take from it the learnings, and you're looking at it from a different point of view, and you do step out of the emotion of it, and it can really, really help. I couldn't agree with you more, Kate. It's one of the things that is super helpful for moving on. So if you ever want or interested in timeline therapy, both Kate and I are practitioners. We can help you with that. It's very individual, one-on-one thing, but lots of people get a tremendous amount from it.
It is incredible. It is incredible.
And so sorry, the only other thing that you've probably got a few on your list was probably a bit of reframing, and we come back to reframing a lot, but that idea, like I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling sad just now, is such a simple reframe. But you are feeling sad, but it doesn't mean you're a sad person. It doesn't mean your life is full of sadness. It is, you're feeling sad just now. So be okay to feel sad. It's just now. And then, you know, you'll move on to a different feeling, and that will be okay.
Well, listeners, I hope that you have got something useful from this podcast. Of course you have. I don't even know why I'm asking. Of course you have.
Obviously.
Even if it's just something when you're in that moment and you can go, oh yeah, I remember what they said.
Yeah, perfect. And, you know, keep those, and what keeps people alive who are no longer with us for whatever reason is us remembering them and talking about them. So just make them part of your life going forward, but in a different way, and have some fun with that. And also let that be sad if it is, you know, it will be what it will be. But yeah, hopefully those things have helped. Thank you, Kate, for those strategies. Very helpful.
No, you're quite welcome. Thank you too, Tina. Yeah,
if you could now just hop off the coach and horses and scoop up the poo, as you promised you would.
I know my role in life.
Just don't pop it on the roses, it won't get wasted.
Guys, I hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We'll see you for the next episode. Take care.
Bye.
To A Lift to Work, please subscribe, share with your friends, and follow us.
Make your comments below. So this is a quick disclaimer from us that just says that whilst we are registered practitioners, if you have listened to anything that has caused a trigger, or you feel like you need medical attention or support, please go and see your GP or other registered healthcare professional.
Absolutely, because this podcast is for educational and fun reasons. Thank you, everyone.
Lots of fun.
Bye.